Welcome to Thought for December the 23rd. Our readings are Job 31 and 32, Zechariah chapter 8, and Revelation chapter 5 and 6. And our thought is, if I have walked in falsehood. If is a two-letter word that sometimes occurs within a very significant context. In our reading in Job today, Job's three friends give up on their vain attempts to reason that Job must be a secret sinner. The argument that he must be so because of all the bad things that happened to him collapses. They can quote no evidence, and in any case, the real facts of how the wicked so often prosper destroys their reasoning. We notice how in chapter 31, in his final words to them, Job uses the word if no less than 18 times, saying, if I have done this or that, then I would be deserving of God's judgments, that is, punishment. Food for much thought here. If I have walked with falsehood, verse 5, being enticed toward a woman, verse 9, made gold my trust, verse 24, rejoice because of my wealth, verse 25, worship the sun and the moon, verses 26 to 28, concealed my transgressions, verse 33, not made fair and proper use of the produce of my lands, verses 38 and 39. In these efforts to justify himself, with which we can empathise, Job also makes some other statements that add up to a challenge to us as to our responsibilities in the sight of God toward others. He says, if I withheld anything that the poor desired, or caused the eye of the widow to fail, or have eaten my morsel alone, and the fatherless have not eaten of it, verses 16 to 17. If I have seen another perish for lack of clothing, verse 19, and not looked after the traveller, verses 31 and 32. You see, in this country, the government provides for much of this, but there are cracks in the system that need watching. But in many other countries, there are many more cracks. Another point is that in verse 29, if I have rejoiced at the ruin of him who hated me, or exulted when evil overtook him. You see, he recognized God would judge him for his failures to act and for having wrong attitudes. It was not just a matter of avoiding doing bad things. For his godly attitude in all these things, and especially for speaking of God with that which is right, chapter 42 and verse 7, Job is in the end blessed. We have not been tested like Job, but the question we must ask ourselves is, can we echo the words of Job ourselves? Let us reflect on the way we have lived and are living our lives. Thank you once again for joining us for Thought for the Day, where together we can open up the pages of God's Word, remembering that they are a lamp to our feet and a light to our path.